Democratic New York Congressman Max Rose. He's a senior advisor to VoteVets. Reed, how concerned should we be about the results of this election getting certified if Donald Trump loses?
Well, look, I think that we have a lot to worry about even before certification. I think that there are two parts of this campaign left from this moment until the polls close and from the polls closing until January 20th of next year. And I am very concerned that not only all of the Steve Bannon, Cleta Mitchell, Roger Stone dirty tricks that they have up their sleeves, that Trump's, most fervent followers have been on receive mode for the last couple of years. And I'm afraid that, Stephanie, we're going to see things like people trying to disrupt tabulation centers and make trouble in those kinds of places, not to steal an election, but to make it so confusing that Trump and his people can say, well, how could we ever know who won?
Max, retired General Mark Milley told Bob Woodward that Trump is, quote, fascist to the core and the most dangerous person in the country. Milley has been brutally honest before about his time as Trump's Joint Chiefs chairman. But this is stunning to hear someone in his position speak about a former president, potential next president.
It's absolutely stunning. And look, as someone who knows Chairman Milley personally, I can tell you that the last thing in the world this man wants to be is political, right? He has dedicated his entire life to military service, the apolitical pursuit of serving the commander-in-chief, irrespective of his or her political affiliation. So for him to take this step on multiple occasions in the most public manner imaginable just shows the gravity of the threat that Donald Trump poses. Chairman Milley, as the senior military advisor to the President of the United States, served alongside Donald Trump day in and day out, multiple times per day. This man saw Donald Trump up close and personal, and after that experience has said in a resounding manner that he should go nowhere near the Oval Office anytime ever again, and we should take that warning incredibly seriously.
Reed, Donald Trump has continued to lie about the 2020 election, and in the wake of these last two hurricanes, he's lied about the federal response. After that, FEMA has had to briefly pause their work in one part of North Carolina because of threats. What does that tell you about the powerful spread of disinformation right now?
I think it's a torrent at this point. It is an absolute flood. Look, I worked at FEMA many years ago. The people that are down there, these are people who dedicate their lives to recovery and response operations. This is not an easy way to make a living. This is not a way you're going to get rich. You are literally going into places where everyone has lost nearly everything they have in their lives. And I think it's not going to stop. And I thought it was interesting that in his latest remarks, he is now saying that the 2020 election was stolen from him, Stephanie, and we live in an occupied country. We thought he'd say that several years ago. It looks like he saved it right here for the very end.
Well, here it is. Max, he's also suggested military action against, quote, the enemy within. Okay, he is floating the idea of using U.S. military against people here at home. You're a veteran. What is your reaction to this?
It's horrifying, right? That this is our worst nightmare as a nation. And, the notion that under a Trump presidency, what we would be relying on is not just the rule of law, but also the character of our men and women in uniform. And that's the only thing that gives me hope here. Our men and women in uniform, many of whom are serving in harm's way right now, swear an oath not to an individual, not even to a nation, but to a document and a set of principles, the Constitution. And they swear an oath. I've taken this oath multiple times to protect this nation, against enemies, both foreign as well as domestic. And in the face of Donald Trump claiming over and over and over again that he will seek to weaponize the military against American citizens, I do think that on one hand, we should find some level of solace that there will be people in the military, despite his efforts, that stand up against him, as they did last time, Chairman Milley being one fantastic example of that. But we also need to understand the gravity, yet again, of this election, because what Donald Trump and his associates are seeking to do is not just weaponize the military, but actually try to replace leaders in the military who stand up against him and follow the rule of law. And it just shows yet again how serious and grave these coming days are, not just for this one election, but the future of this country.
All right, Max, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Reed, thank you as well. Always good.